Hey! Hello, everyone. We'll do a quick check to make sure that everybody can hear us okay. It's been so long since we've done this that Joel has grown a second Joel on his chin. He's got 2 or 3 Joels worth of hair.
Yeah, there's another one hidden in there.
Yeah, that's where he keeps sulfur.
Yep.
And he's been nice and warm and cozy until we launch Season 6. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is really, really great to see everybody. Good friend here in person. So excited! Season 6 is coming. We are very excited. Couple housekeeping items that we'll go through real quick first. We were doing these, first of all, first announcement is we'll be doing these live every week leading up to our Kickstarter campaign. And basically what this is to give everybody kind of a lead up, a sneak peek into each portion or section of the Kickstarter before it launches to get everybody super excited about it, because we're super excited about it because we've been hard at work to make this happen. But next week, I will be, not next week, in 2 weeks, I will be in Peru doing RPG in the jungle. What that is we are literally going to the high jungle of Peru to play Wildmount with a bunch of people.
Wildmount!
Wildmount. That's how you say Wildmount.
Wildmount!
That's... yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. There are 5 people coming, so we do have 1 ticket left if anybody out there wants to jump on last minute and come to Peru for $1,000 US. And it's a whole week of D&D every night and jungle adventures during the day. We do have 1 spot left if you're interested, and so it's $1,000 for your ticket to the event. If that it is rpginthejungle.com. That is a shameless plug. The other thing is, I have been running, if you miss all of the hijinks of Into the Mist and Curse of Strahd and me running it, I am running weekly startplaying.games games. And so if you go to www.startplaying.games, you can find me, and I'm running 2 weekly campaigns with folks who are paying weekly to be a part of it and jump in and enjoy it. And so tonight we have a session, and Wednesday nights we have a chess session, and we have a couple seats available on the Wednesday game. So at least 1, maybe 1 opening up soon. So if you're interested in playing with me weekly, it is the Battle of Barovia. And so people are playing through the current state of Barovia as it has played out in 5 seasons. And so it is a lot of fun. I see some of our players in the chat. Jacoby's in there. I saw Matt in there. And those are some of our weekly players. And we're having a blast playing through and helping to win the battle for Barovia, while the Dawnbringers are out doing who knows what, daddy issues and stuff. Anyways,
True.
It's true. And so, yeah, you can jump into that. I will be also a GameCon Canada in June. More details to come for that. That is all the housekeeping stuff. Do you have anything? We don't have anything else.
No.
If you want to help support the channel, like I said, a great way is to jump into those weekly games. That is how you can do that in the meantime until the Kickstarter launches. Before we get into, so we're going to do a couple things. We have an announcement. We are, by the end of this, going to tell you when the launch date will be for the campaign. And so you will get that information by the time we're done here today.
Yes.
You can head to...
Good teaser, Jay.
Thanks. You like that, right? You told me to do that. I listened to advice from Joel. You can go to Kickstarter, look for Into the Mist. The link is in the description of this video, and you can follow the campaign. If you follow the campaign, then we know how many people are following, and then we will notify you when the campaign goes live so you can jump in, because there are limited things that we're doing. Joel's making a mess.
I have an idea, Jay.
What?
Because people don't know, like, what Into the Mist is like on... like stats wise, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, sure.
I thought I'd share a few things, a few stats.
Yes, please.
In the last 28 days.
In real time.
Literally in the last 28 days, we the Into the Mist show on YouTube has seen almost 7,000 hours of viewing time.
It's crazy.
In 28 days, 7,000 hours of viewing time. We've had over 35,000 individuals watch one episode of On the Playlist.
In the last 28 days.
In the last 28 days.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So there are a lot of you out there who actually do like us.
Or I've seen
Thank
at least a minute of our content.
I've seen a minute of the content for it to count as
When
a
I
view.
looked last time, I think the overall stat that I looked at was 950,000 hours
Yeah, 950,000 hours.
watched
That's
of
pretty crazy.
of Into the Mist over 5 seasons.
Sorry, I said 7,000 hours. It's 12,100 hours in the last 28 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So
Wow. And we can add this 5 minutes to it.
Yes.
Now you've watched.
now you watch another 5 minutes.
12,006 minutes of yeah. A lot of people ask us why Kickstarter. And the reality of the situation is, first of all, we wanted to get back to basics. And so we want to get back to our roots. We want to have an in-person game at a table with friends. And so we're starting with the core cast. That was incredibly important to us, that we end this thing the way we started. As friends, in the room, throwing dice, laughing, and
gonna be
up to hijinks.
Yep.
The second reason is because sponsorship has changed in this industry dramatically over the last couple of years. At one point, it was really, for lack of a better word, sexy to sponsor a stream because the success of Critical Role and all that wonderful stuff, and everybody kind of wanted to be in on that.
Yep.
And that's died down significantly. And so we do have some sponsors who are returning. Beetle and Grimm is returning. Hero Forge is returning. Forge is returning, and Ultimate Game Master, which is our brand of Game Master screens, which did very well. Sidebar. Those will be our actual sponsors, but it's not enough to make the season happen.
Yep.
And so we sat around and put our heads together and thought, how do we make this happen, given the lack of sponsorship that we have potentially for this next season?
Yep.
And then we thought about all the folks who have been begging us to create a 6th season for the last year or so, year and a half.
Yeah, and we had gone down a little bit of the path of like, okay, let's just organize another season, go get sponsors, and full disclosure, like Jay was just mentioning, that didn't really pan out the way we expected. We learned a lot of new lessons because, like Jay was mentioning, the whole world of sponsorship has changed. So it's meant that there's way more constraints around finances from sponsors for shows like this.
Yep.
So if we want to get it done, we have to do it in an original and new and different way than we've done it in the past.
Yeah.
And we're willing to do that for the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And frankly, we talk about 950,000 watched. We talk about over 1 million views over the 5 seasons. That is not enough to sustain a company, a series, in ad revenue. And for those that are YouTubers or have heard, those YouTubers who get 1 million per episode, it's a different story. We're talking 1 million over 5 seasons, over years. And so it's a drop in the bucket of what it costs. So sponsorship was the only way, really, that we could fund and make it happen.
Correct.
And now that that's dried up, except for those awesome, incredible sponsors that we have coming back, we want to do it right, and we need your help.
Yep.
Is the bottom line. Beyond that, getting back to our roots and the sponsorship issue, we also want to renovate and build our own studio again. We started off, many people know, in my garage back with Sentinels of the Storm and Dragon's Bane.
It was so cold in that garage.
It was so cold.
It was so cold.
There's
you can't see it, but behind the black screen and Sentinels behind there's a propane torch going.
Yes.
Like it's actually it's like crazy.
Yeah, and then Jeff would order pizza and the garage door would open in the middle.
It was so
and we were
cold.
filming with iPhones. Anyways, we've come a long way.
Yeah.
A really long way. Thanks to everyone and your support and those sponsors that we've had up to this point. We thank those sponsors. The fact that they've decided to move on, some of them, and so on, all the best. We hope that they are able to help others the way that they've helped us. But now we have an incredible community, and a group of people who love us and want us to be back and want to help. And so because of the feedback that we got, we've decided to kickstart it. Yeah. And to give back to you folks as well through that process. And so the most important thing, I think, to remember is that we're trying to fund a show. As RealmSmith, we have produced multi-6-figure series previously. Yep. It's not cheap to produce content.
We wouldn't have produced those without sponsor dollars.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It would have been impossible. And Joel comes from TV. He works in TV. That's his day job. And so, you can speak to that and how much it costs to make content.
Yeah, I mean, it's regularly done where an episode of a show, of really almost any show, would be well over 20 grand to make. But there are shows that we've greenlit in our studios that were over $1 million an episode. So it just really it's really expensive to make content. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead. You were talking about your garage because I think that's a poignant.
Yeah, so we want to renovate. We want to
circle.
create our own studio, and so we have all the equipment still that we've been able to gather and pay for through sponsorship dollars for all these years. And so all we need is a space to do it. I have a large 2-car garage in the back of the house that we want to renovate into a studio, and so the Kickstarter is also designed to fund that so that we have a studio to create content moving forward. Because we want to create content with RealmSmith for the foreseeable future. And we want to do it on our terms, do stuff that we want to do, and not be pushed by that sponsorship need constantly, and take some chances on some things. If we have our own studio, we don't have to pay for a studio, then we can take chances and do some fun stuff that we typically wouldn't do.
Make the content we want to make.
Totally, 100%. I had another point that I was going to make, and I forget what it was. It had something to do with raising funds. I can't remember.
Okay. Well.
Oh, the other thing is that a lot of folks who create content are able to because they don't pay their folks, or people are volunteering their time until they get to a point, and that's incredibly important to us. Most of the money that we are raising for this will go to paying our cast.
Yes.
Over and above the goal, that's when we talk about extra episodes, other seasons, finishing off old seasons perhaps, flying folks in and new guests in, all of that kind of stuff that we've talked about previously. That will happen over and above. But our goal currently, we're looking at about $10,000, I think is going to be the goal for the campaign. And that's what we need in order to get bottom basement basics of the core cast in the studio filming 12 episodes.
So when you see the campaign live, that will be the target. It'll be $10,000 to do the full season, which is bananas cheap.
Yes, it's
crazy. Actually,
it's 10% of what we've needed to film other series that we've done. Less than 10%, probably 5%. But that 8%.
That's why the majority of those dollars will go to the cast.
Yeah.
It's just
that's exactly it. And so we want to make sure we take care of our cast. They've spent their time and their effort and their
and the $17.23 that'll be left will go towards making the studio great.
Yes, because all we need, it's Canada, and so really, I mean, given the current climate and
the tariffs coming our way,
I mean, you know, it's going to cost $17 just to walk out there. Anyways, all of that to say, we're excited, and that's why we're doing a Kickstarter. That's why we're launching a Kickstarter, is because we need your help. And we're not afraid to ask for it. And we're not afraid to allow our community to speak up. And again, every week we even read just a comment now about, you read it, Joel, and you read it to me. Do you remember what that was? Basically about the fact that we got people through COVID. We got people through, and somebody said it was their religion to watch Into the Mist. And it's been magical. It honestly has. And that's a silly word to use, but it has been for us. It has honestly been an honor to do this.
We love the characters.
Yes.
We love the world.
Yeah.
We, it's I don't know, it's a privilege to be with friends and play this in front of you guys. Yeah. And so we would love to close it off well. Yeah. Do it the way it, treat it with the respect and the gratitude that it deserves.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of people are asking, why is it taking so long? And there's some negativity there. And I think that the bottom line, as far as that goes, is we did 5 seasons and we're tired and had to feed our families. And again, this doesn't pay the bills. This doesn't send our kids to school. This doesn't do the things that we need to. So it doesn't put food on the table. We do this because we love it.
We're by no means professional actors or anything like that.
No, we have other stuff going on.
There's other stuff happening.
Yeah. In fact, I am the only full-time employee of RealmSmith. And even still, I've had to do in the last number of years a lot of side work in order to make it work and be able to still do this. And so, anyways, we do this because we love it, and we know you love it, and so let's make something incredible together, I guess is the bottom line.
Yeah.
So the first step is to follow the campaign. That is the best thing that you can do this moment, is to hit that link, hit the follow me or follow this campaign button.
Where is it?
It's right on the campaign page.
Yeah, but where's the campaign page?
Like, what's the link?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, Joel. It's on the... No, I'm just kidding. It's in the...
I was like, what?
It's in the description
Yep.
below. In the description of this video.
That's what I was trying to get you
Thank
to
you,
say.
Joel.
Yeah.
You click that little link and it sends it. It's like a parent. You're like, Jason, where did they follow the link? Jason, where did they find it?
Because I would need to know, honestly.
It's
what do I do
It's
next?
in the description. So yeah, so click that link, follow the campaign. You'll be notified. That lets us know that you know that it's happening, and we will continue to do that. The other thing is to share. And so as we lead up to it, please be sure to be sharing with your friends and family and community and loved ones, anybody you know who's watched the show and all of that fun stuff. Letting people know, even if you can't support the campaign, to support us by letting people know is a huge help as well. And this is a very niche of a niche of a niche. Like, this is a small community of folks. I mean, we won't even do ads for this.
No.
We're not doing ads like we did for Ultimate Game Master. I mean, we made like $1 million Canadian on Ultimate Game Master, and so
yeah,
you know, that was great. But we did ads, and it was a huge thing. This isn't that. This is much smaller. This is a community-based event of us just loving something and you loving something and us being able to make it together. Anyways, I feel like I'm blabbing. Okay,
you're doing good, Jay.
Thanks, buddy. So follow the campaign. That's the best thing that you can potentially do. We're about to get to Q&A, and so if you have a question, as you might remember from when we used to do this before, if you could post question in big bold letters, like write question in the comments, all capitals in the chat, and then write your question. If you've already asked a question, re-ask it please by putting question, and then Joel's going to read questions as we go. We also have questions from last video, and so if you're watching this after the fact and you're not watching it live, then make sure that you jump in to the comments, put a comment, ask a question with question in big bold lettering, and then next week we will answer that question. I told you this week we were going to give you a launch date. We already told you that the goal is going to be around $10,000. Next week, we're going to release the tiers. And so we're going to tell you what the tiers are and how much they're going to be.
Not those tiers.
No, not those tiers. Although there will be some tiers.
There'll be some
There'll definitely be tiers. Maybe happiness. But we will tell you the tiers. We will tell you how much they're going to be in concept, and they may change.
Yes.
Something about the right that we keep.
We
reserve
the right to change
anything.
Anything about the campaign. We may even say some things to you here in this very video that you hold on to as truth.
Yes.
We also retain the right to change those things as well.
Yes, we do. 100%.
Because
everything might change, but we want to get people excited.
Because who knows? There might be a pandemic between when this is... No!
There may be. Let's hope not. Yeah. Okay. All right. We told you we were going to tell you the launch date, folks. Joel, do you want to tell them the launch date?
I don't know it, Jason.
Okay.
No, just kidding.
The launch date for the Into the Mist Season 6 Kickstarter is going to be March 4th, 2005. 2025.
March 4th, people.
March 4th, Tuesday.
Let's March 4th together and get this Kickstarter done.
So that's
how you
just
remember.
A month tomorrow, from tomorrow. And so we were going to do 4 weeks of this. Hopefully, if I'm able to go live from Peru in 3 weeks, that'd be great. But we will be in live March 4th. 2025, that is when the campaign will go live. That's when you'll be able to jump in and support us. And so make sure that you are ready for that and excited for that. We told you it was coming.
So, Dungeon Smith, your question is now answered. You asked, when does the Kickstarter go live?
Good. We did it.
We did it.
We did it.
We answered a question.
Yeah, I can retire.
Yep.
Okay, we are, and again, tiers are going to be next week. We're going to talk about the potential price of those tiers and what those tiers are in next week's live.
Yeah.
Q&A. Yeah. Q&EHA. Canadian.
Very Canadian of you.
Thank you very much. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, now is your opportunity to ask whatever questions. We will answer them as honestly as we are possibly able to at this stage.
Yeah.
And I see there a bunch have come in already. And so, and then I am starting another session in half an hour or so.
Okay, so we don't have a ton of time.
No, so 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll go for 10 minutes and we'll see how we go. Okay, go ahead.
Here we go.
question.
Dungeon Smith asks, when does the Kickstarter go live? March the 4th.
4th, 2025, not 2005.
Correct.
We're not going back in time.
Question here, Artemis asks, who is the core player? Who are the core players who will be part
question.
of the campaign?
Good question. That would be myself as the GM, of course. Maybe Joel. I'm kidding. Joel, of course, is one of the core players.
I may or may not be there.
Yeah, well, you know, you might not be invited back. Brandon, of course, in the role of Sterling, and Adam in the role of Dimitri. Those are the core, what we consider the core players. Is that 4?
Yep.
Yeah, those are the core players. And so there are some other players who we want to come back. They will be stretch goal oriented or related. And so if we want to see Esmeralda come back, if we want to see other people come back, we will be having stretch goals that once we hit those at a certain amount, we'll be able to afford to fly them in and to pay them and to make sure that they are here to play. And so those are the core players as it stands, which is, that's 3 of potential 6 spots.
Yeah.
And also to have people guest. And so that would be one of the questions, actually. One of the questions that we had from last week.
Yes.
From Glenn Lockwood is 2 things for the stretch goals. Finish Sentinels of the Storm.
Ooh.
And bring Callie back. And so Callie's my wife. Mel's my wife. Many of you may
So
not
the
have
answer
known
is
that.
no.
So the answer is absolutely
No.
not. We intend to potentially have guests even come in for a couple episodes, even if they're not here for the whole season. And so even though they're not core, we're trying to get everybody back. So it's, yeah. And then, of course, Sentinels of the Storm. There are going to be lots of little stretch goals like that at the top level. We would love to do one final episode as a tribute episode of Sentinels of the Storm. For those of you that were around during that time, we had one episode left when our dearly departed Todd left us back years ago. And so to come back and finish that episode with Jeff and Monica and all those folks would be fantastic. I would love to do that. So anyways, all of those are potentiality. Okay, next question, Joel.
Any thought, this is Matt Machinsky, by the way.
Yeah, Matt.
Any
I'll
thought
see you in 40 minutes.
to bringing Beyond the Mist back too? Maybe as a stretch goal? Perhaps with our beloved host, Hillary?
Oh, wow. Yeah, man. I even forgot we did Beyond.
I know.
So we are going to be doing an Aftermath. And so the idea is, or something like Aftermath or Beyond the Mist, the intention is to do a post-show of some sort every episode, a live post-show. And folks who are backers were talking about potentially allowing you to get access to that. And so if you're a backer, you get access to a private post-show that will exist after every episode.
Amazing.
Live. And then maybe we'll release that post-show later in the week or whatever. But
or just have it for the
or
peeps,
just have it for backers.
For backers. Or
That's a possibility.
maybe it's just for Kickstarter backers.
Yeah.
And we hold a list.
If we get more than 4 backers,
oof. I don't know, Jay.
we will do it exclusively for backers.
Yes, if we have
if we get more than 4
backers, we'll do it exclusively for backers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. I like it.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Question from Simon Rogers. Pineapple on pizza or not? Careful. Don't mess this up.
Sacrilegious. Pineapple
To not have pineapple
should
on a
not
pizza
even be in the
would
same room
as pizza?
Pineapple on pizza is the worst combination. One of the worst combinations in humanity.
So, when people said you can't put chocolate on a pretzel, have you had white chocolate pretzels?
I don't like white chocolate. I like chocolate pretzels.
Okay.
Love or pretzels with the peanut butter inside are my favorite.
Yes.
The thing though is that tastes good. And so if you make an invention and it tastes good, then it should be continued. If you put something on it,
telling me
like pineapple,
you're telling me the number 1 ordered pizza in the world behind pepperoni pizza is not good?
It's not the
Statistically, check it on Google, and you probably won't find an answer because no one knows. But I bet you it's the second most.
I need a fact check.
I order it every time. So the answer is yes.
No.
Pineapple on pizza, and I will Arm fist fight anyone. Arm fist fight is a new kind of battle that I know I can win because no one knows what it is.
What's an arm fist
Exactly.
fight? Oh man, I can't wait to film this season. Okay, what's the next question?
Is there such thing as too much garlic on food?
Oh dear, no.
I
love garlic.
See, me too.
Yeah, next question.
Next one. Okay, Joel, I know at one point you dreamt of RealmSmith Con.
Ooh.
Are you guys planning on running any tables at any cons in the foreseeable future? Also, Joel, love the music, brother.
Is that...
I didn't add that. That's in
Let
the
me
question.
guess, that's Jacoby.
Yeah, it's Jacoby.
Awesome. I run games at Gen Con every year that are related to Into the Mist. They're kind of the Battle for Barovia stuff that we're doing. And so, yes, I will be at cons, GameCon Canada, Gen Con, cons like that, running games. Keep indoor socials to find out when and opportunities to do that.
Yeah. I would love to go to cons. I can't. I'm so busy.
Well, who knows? If this Kickstarter does well.
If it does well, then
maybe
we're all going to take it on tour.
That said, though, part of the Kickstarter is, I won't say yet, but part of the Kickstarter is bringing community together. And so there is an opportunity.
Don't give away too much.
There may be an opportunity at some of the higher levels to be involved in something like that. I would love to do a RealmCon. That would be really fun. And I'd love to yeah. That all depends on the success and how the season goes and moving forward in the future.
Is there any interest? This is Daniel Odell.
Hey, Daniel.
Asking. Is there any interest in using the 2024 rule set at all?
Yes. So I think I'm going to.
Really?
Yeah. I think for the next season, I think we may make the shift to 2024.
No.
Maybe not.
I don't like it.
I think we will.
Okay. Well,
and
I'm out. This was great. Talk to you guys later. This was fun. I gotta go. I can't do it. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't even know the difference.
No, he doesn't know the 2014 rules.
I don't.
So if anybody's watched our stream, he doesn't even know those rules.
Rules as written, folks. Rules as written.
2025. Rule of cool is what Joel.
Yeah, I play the rule of cool.
Or rule of fool. One of the two.
Both of them.
They're interchangeable.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question.
Okay. So let's go look for other questions that are unanswered. I think that's basically it. Oh wait. Not related to Into the Mist, but would y'all ever consider another Cyberpunk campaign, asks John Floyd.
We've considered all of it.
Yeah.
And so depending on how this goes, Cyberpunk is still our most watched content on our channel.
Yeah, so crazy.
And I think it dropped at a time where the video game wasn't released yet and people were looking for content. And so it hit that algorithm machine and then it's just skyrocketed. I think we have close to 1 million views, or I don't know.
Oh, more than 1 million views now.
1 million views.
Oh yeah,
on the first episode.
Way more actually. Way more now.
Yeah. So it's nuts. That thing got wings and it took off. So yeah, I mean we're open to anything. We've talked about Marvel, doing some Marvel stuff. I mean, there's lots of opportunities. Again, once we have this studio built and are able to make content as we see fit, then there are lots of opportunities out there for stuff.
Someone else asked, will Nora be involved?
I would love Nora to be involved.
Yeah,
Nora would love to be involved. That is one of those situations where we'll need to hit a stretch goal in order to justify the cost of flights and pay and hotels and all that stuff to get her here. But we would love to have Nora involved.
I thought you said together, let's all get together. But you're
we're just going to get together
here.
Let's get together.
Let's get together and do this.
Come together.
Okay. That's it.
Oh wait,
good.
Okay, yeah, no. So we have a couple still from last week.
Yeah.
Ashley Dennis asked last stream, if they created more Cursed Realms, would you potentially bring the cast there?
Oh yeah, good question.
So there are lots of Cursed Realms. Obviously as part of Van Richten's guide and kind of the greater Dark Realm universe. Part of this, and I don't want to give too much away, but obviously level 10 is not the end of this
gameplay
cast and Dawnbringers. And so we have another potential 10 levels of something where we could continue the story with this cast moving forward. And we are talking about what that looks like and where that will take place. And so that's just a teaser as to potentially some of the things that we're thinking about in the future.
Yep.
And then one other is filming underway. It is not. We are in pre-production as of sorts. I am working out story and putting it together. I have 5 seasons of a ton of content to go through to make sure that we tie up all the loose ends. I am old and my brain doesn't work the way it used to, and so we need to review and do all that, and so we're in that process.
And we need a location for filming and all of that stuff.
So that's what this Kickstarter is for. This Kickstarter is to get that filming done. And we will talk later in a later episode of this, leading up to the Kickstarter, when that filming is intended to take place, and then when we will intend to release the season moving forward after the Kickstarter.
Question, best case scenario, what is RealmSmith up to 5 years from now?
Oof.
I
Pinky.
I want to say we'll be up to what, 45,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes, we will, at least.
Like, at least.
We better.
We're at 35.
We're almost 35 now.
We're 35, so in 5 years, at least, I want to say 45,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
5 years from now, Joel, what do you think?
RealmSmith. I think we'll probably, I don't know, like I'm thinking like a G6 or Learjet, probably gold-plated, but they're so rare, and that affects the lift as well.
So, folks,
they're very heavy.
First stretch goal is $3.2 million.
Wow, they've come down in price.
For Joel. Or have they? I don't know. What they're gonna cost. For Joel's personal jet.
I don't know. 5 years, I can't even see past the end of the weekend.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Well, my goal for the next 5 years, the first step is to get a studio so we can create content. I want to still be creating content in 5 years.
That's a good goal.
And that has been uncertain in RealmSmith's history.
For sure.
We've jumped from studio to studio and had cast changes and all kinds of things. And we've always kind of like, our motto, and Joel actually came up with this early on, is survival is success. And what that means isn't holding on until you're dead. It means adapting to survive in an industry that is continually changing. And so 5 years is tough because that's a long time from now.
You took that to heart.
I know. I listen.
That's
I listen
friendship
to my
right
bro.
there.
I listen. No, but seriously, the truth is we didn't know we'd be here 5 years ago. And so I would love to still be creating content. I would love to be creating products that we've talked about in the past. You know, the DM screen with Joel and I doing that thing is something that we've tried to do and has been incredibly successful. But RealmSmith, I think travel D&D will factor fairly highly in that. We're doing a lot of stuff in the jungle and the cruises and D&D in the castle and that kind of stuff.
They're so fun. If you're out there and you haven't been on a D&D like cruise or an event like in a castle or the one in Peru, it's like, oh, they're so fun.
Yeah, it's like the epitome of
yeah, it's really great.
Yeah. That said, content is where we want to go. I want to create content. I want to sit with my friends and be able to entertain you folks the way that we have been.
Yeah.
And so if in 5 years we can still be doing what we've been doing all along, I will be happy.
Yep.
But we need to grow the channel. I'd like to grow the channel. We want to focus on growing the channel in the next 5 years so that more people know. And it's amazing that even weekly now, we have people all the time coming and saying, we didn't even know you existed. And so it's great. And so we want to raise that awareness of what RealmSmith is.
Yep. Question, will we be able to see sneak peeks in the progress of the studio once it's built, once it starts?
Yes. So Vanessa is one of our players who was asking that question. She plays Seraphine in our session in about half an hour. 25 minutes now.
Nice.
We gotta go.
Yep.
Yes, of course. In fact, can I say where we're filming our Kickstarter Backstreet video?
What?
Our Kickstarter video. We're talking about, actually, it's an open garage, and so we're actually going to film our Kickstarter video in the garage.
Oh, that's right.
To show the backdrop of what it could potentially be. And so, yes, absolutely. Part of the updates of the Kickstarter will be to release updates of the renovations on the studio as it goes.
Yes.
Number of episodes and length of episodes. We're looking at 12 episodes, 2 hours each. There will be stretch goals to extend the season, additional episodes, and we'll be talking about that further.
Yeah.
Joel is taking down.
I had an idea as you were talking.
Take him down. Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah.
Why does the playlist on Apple Podcasts abruptly end at season 4?
Yeah, it's time. It's just taking the time to do it.
Yes,
content is hard to make.
Yeah. So yes, I would love to convert the rest of our season 5. Is it up to season 4?
No,
abruptly
4.
At season 4.
4.
So 4 is the last season we have podcasts of?
Or
3 is the last season?
3 is the last season.
Yeah, so we
Stops
need to
before 4.
convert those last 2 seasons, and we will be doing that, hopefully moving forward. But part of the Kickstarter, we can focus on that as well. Again, the
Stretch
more
goal.
exactly. The more successful the Kickstarter is, the more we'll be able to do and have the freedom to do. Question: do you guys plan on making more YouTube shorts? I think it would be a great idea to put your guys' self out more. I've seen how it worked out great, and yes, absolutely, 100%. Again, right? This doesn't sustain us. This doesn't put enough food on the table for our families, and so we have to do other things. If the Kickstarter does incredibly well, and we're able to fund the season and then do the other things we want to do, it frees us up to be able to build this and build more content with the core cast that we know and love. And so yes. Will you, Jason, make an appearance as Erwin Martikoff and grow out your beard for the Into the Mist campaign? Think it'd be a good, fun idea. No, that's Joel. This beard will remain this length for the foreseeable future. Joel has decided to take that on for the team.
I plan to wrap this thing around my dead body when I die. Like, it'll be the full, just like a mummified,
like a shroud,
of Auge for my, for my burial. People are gonna be like, "Oh, that's weird," and I'll be like, "Dead." So
that's unfortunate.
It's gonna be weird.
Yeah. I think that's all.
Yeah.
Thank you,
we're
everyone.
Probably done here.
Yeah, I think we're probably once we get to like the shroud of the beard conversation. I think we're probably in.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Once again, I know it's been a long time coming. We feel it. We feel refreshed, excited, overjoyed. Again, if you want to get that Into the Mist goodness, jump into startplaying.games, grab that last seat. If there's enough interest, I may start a third game, maybe on Thursdays or something like that. I'm really enjoying running these games. They're the highlights of my week. Monday and Wednesdays. And again, you are playing along and making a difference in being canonized for the upcoming season 6.
Into the Barovian.
Nuts. Yeah, it's really cool. We'll be releasing some stuff on socials about some of the things that these two groups are accomplishing. We've also actually opened up the Discord again for those two groups, and so those two groups are able to are in limited fashion able to interact in between weeks and craft and build and talk and role play and fish and hunt, and it's been a joy. It's really been awesome to be able to do that. Anyways, love you all, much love. Without further ado, help us
venture into the mist. Good one.
Take care, y'all. Bye.
Yes. Let's do